Yo, thank you for clicking on the video. I'm Who's Mans. I just like football. I'm here to teach you the X's and O's of the game. I'm not here to teach you the glitches and the exploits and things like that. Not that there's anything wrong with that. If you guys are new, go ahead, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you never miss an upload. And let's get into it. We giving God the glory first and foremost. All right, let's get it. All right, so now we're in the passing part of this. We're going over the D-line stunts. If you watched my last video, we went over using stunts to help in the run game. So obviously we're going over the pass game now. So there's different ways to get pressure and to influence the quarterback, maybe to flood the pocket early or maybe to influence him to stay in the pocket. There's different ways to do this, and we're going to use stunts. So I'm not going to show you any blitzes or any crazy setups.
I beg your pardon?
I'm going over why they're in the game and what they're useful for, different things like that. All right, so first and foremost, I kind of want to go back over a couple of things I said from the last video, but line stunts challenges protection versus the pass, and it also alleviates pressure on the back end of two high looks. Why is this important? Well, you can see in this clip here, we only send 4, but get really quick pressure up the A gap. You know, the fastest route to the QB is from point A to B, so anything inside is going to create some pressure. And you see here, our defensive end cuts down and the defensive end loops over top into the A gap. This is nice because if you can influence the offensive line to not block toward the or slide toward the loop, then you can sometimes get a man free, especially if there's some miscommunication on the offensive line. And that's essentially what we're doing. We want to create some miscommunication on the offensive line. So you definitely have to mix up what you're doing. You can't always send stunts to get pressure. You can't always just send cover zero blitzes. You're going to have to mix it up. And you see here, this was a great mix up to get some pressure on the quarterback. Even in this clip here, you're going to have to mix up how you do this. You can't always run the exact same thing because your offensive line will catch on and understand what to do. So it is important to mix up what you're doing and who you're sending. I want to talk about the different techniques. So I have them labeled on the screen as you see. You got the 6, 1, 3, and the 9. This is basically something that you'll need to know. You'll need to know which gaps they're attacking, and you can kind of see where they're attacking. And I'll label the gaps right here as well. So we have the 1 attacking the A gap. This is an A gap. Then you have the 3 attacking the B gap. The B gap is left unguarded here. Then you have the C. Then you have a C, and then in this case, this would be considered the D gap, which technically there's a D gap over here, but there's no Y. Understanding that the 6 is attacking the C gap here, you have the 1 attacking this A gap, you have the 3 attacking this B gap, and then you have this 9 attacking the C gap. Once you understand what's going on here, it'll be easier to understand, okay, what do I want to attack and what is going to be the easiest way to attack that. So this is going to be considered an overfront. The reason being is you have your 3 tech to the Y. This player here is the Y. All right, so he'll always be lined up to the Y. So in this example, as you see, we're still in an overfront, but you see we have the 6, we have a 1, our 3 is here, and this is our 9. So as you see, 3 tech is still lined up to the Y. The running strength is technically to this side. It's important to understand your fronts. It's important to understand the techniques. It's important to understand all that because you want to get your guys in the best position possible. Now I can start to understand, okay, well, do I want my defensive tackle to be more of a rush guy? If he's more of a rush guy, then I can start using him to get outside. For instance, Penn State, their defensive tackle, their 3 technique, has 85 speed. so it's going to be easier for him to get outside. So you kind of open up what you're doing with using stunts. So sometimes you can crash and have him loop over top. There also is another where he crashes down this way and we have him loop over top into the A gap. There's many different things. With that being said, stunts are nice. You've seen a couple of clips where this 3 tech can influence both the guard and the tackle to block both of them at once. And if this side of the line does a good job, we can influence all of these people to be blocked, leaving him free in this A gap. So you're sending 4, but getting like a 5-man pressure or a 6-man pressure. Now, it's not always going to happen. It's not always going to work that way, but that is the main goal of this, is to just confuse the offensive line. Another part of this is to understand, okay, well, is this quarterback great at throwing the ball on the run? Is he great at throwing the ball on the run to the right? Is he good at throwing the ball to the left? Watching a couple clinics, I've understood that most quarterbacks are better at throwing on the run to the right than they are to the left. So if that's the case, then maybe I want to influence this quarterback to constantly roll out to his left. I want worse throws, so I'm going to try to get him to roll out to the left. So maybe what I do is, instead of sending my defensive end into the A gap and have him crash down this way, well, now the offensive line, if you think about it, is going to kind of be set like this. So it's going to automatically give him the feeling that he needs to roll out this way. So another thing you can do to influence the quarterback to kind of roll out to his left is to maybe send that pressure coming into the A gap. My bad. Having your defensive end come into the A gap this way, because now the offensive line is kind of set this way. And this is easier to get out this way, but you're influencing him to do something that you want him to do. Another thing is, maybe you have a quarterback who is not great at going outside the pocket. They have to stay inside the pocket. So there's things that you can also do to, there's 4-man stunts where maybe you have your defensive tackles kind of start outside and you have your D ends both attack this A gap. It's going to naturally kind of push this offensive line a little bit more together this way and open up the outside, so that this quarterback is not going to feel as comfortable once they get into the drop to then come back up to the line of scrimmage that way. It's going to force them to naturally kind of either drift out to the right or the left, and if they're not comfortable outside of the pocket, it's going to make it a lot harder for them. So these are all the reasons that stunts and twists and things like that work in the pass game. It's not always to generate pressure. Sometimes it's to just get your quarterback off platform, to get them in a situation that they're not comfortable. And at times you can use them to generate pressure as well. So hopefully with all that information, you are able to use stunts and twists effectively. Next, we got the gameplays, but like I said before, this is not a substitution for cover zero blitzes every single play. This is not a substitution for using the loop blitz every single play. You're using this to switch it up, get your opponent kind of off guard, confuse the offensive line, send some pressure without having to send 65,000 people in. And yeah, so y'all already know what it is, man. Just throw some comments in the comment section below. Let me know what y'all like, what y'all don't like. If you got any prayer requests, throw them in the comment section as well. And you already know we got to give God the glory at the very end. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.